Hey everybody, and welcome to this video. I'm Inxlaura123 and this is going to be my November reading wrap up. I'm going to be telling you what books I read in the month of November, what they're about, what I thought about them, and also I give each book a rating out of 5. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy watching. If you do, please click like and comment, and please subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. Okay, so I've got all my notes on my phone, so I'm just going to read from that. So I'm just gonna pop my glasses on. Okay, by the way, to those of you that are new to my channel, I'm a bookworm. I love reading. I read every single day, like literally. I love books so much. Okay. Right, so the first book I read in November was by Jessica Townsend and it's called Wondersmith. So this is the first book in the series that I read. This is Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow, and Wondersmith is number 2. So it was really awesome to have the same characters back again, and I love Morrigan. I think she's an awesome character. I love all the magic and stuff like that, but I don't know, I just preferred Nevermore to Wondersmith. So basically, Morrigan Crow may have defeated her deadly curse, passed the dangerous trials, and joined the mystical, wondrous society, but her journey into Nevermore and all its secrets has only just begun. She's fast learning that not all magic is used for good. As I say, this was a good, fun, and I love like the magical side of it and stuff like that, but I don't know, like I just didn't enjoy it as much as Nevermore. I thought Nevermore was absolutely sensational. This book was just okay. It was just okay. Like, I gave it a 3 out of 5 rating because I don't know, like it just lacked something. Just lacked something for me. Anyway, so the next book I read in November was Things a Bright Girl Can Do by Sally Nichols. So through rallies and marches in polite drawing rooms and freezing prison cells and poverty-stricken slums of the East End, 3 courageous young women join the fight for the vote. This book brought out the inner feminist in me. I was reading it like, yes, girl power, come on ladies, let's do this. So yeah, lots of really kind of thought-provoking things in this book, and it's so like mad to think of like years and years and years ago, you know, we couldn't vote. If, you know, you as a woman, you couldn't vote in an election and stuff. So, you know, I'm so thankful to what these women, you know, all these generations ago did so that we as women can vote now. So every election, whether it's, you know, a country election or if it's like a local election, I always make sure I go and vote because of, you know, what these women went through so we could get the vote. I like the romance in it as well. I like the friendship. I liked just like learning more about the suffragettes and stuff. I thought it was really well wrote and yeah, really, really good. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. Okay, the next book I read in November was by Courtney Summers, and it was called Sadie. I'd heard so much hype about Sadie. Literally, everyone I knew that was on like Bookstagram and stuff, and booktubers that I watched, they'd mention this, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm quite interested. It sounded good. It was good. Like, I don't know if it was quite as good as all the hype, but I did really enjoy it. So basically, it's about a missing girl who's on a journey for revenge, and it's kind of cool because it was told like the actual story, but also it's told like a podcast following the clues and stuff. Like, it was really cool, a very good like intense thriller, and the pacing was just like really well done. I loved the cross between like the interviews and like the main character, and yeah, I just thought it was really different, and I like the fact that she was kind of out for revenge, and you know, she wanted to get to the bottom of things, and I really did enjoy it, but I just thought, I don't know, I thought it was gonna be a little bit better, but I still gave it a 4 out of 5, so I still obviously enjoyed it. The next book, however, I didn't enjoy it, and that was The Toy Makers by Robert Dinsdale. So yeah, this book I literally wanted to get because the cover was beautiful. I'm, you know, a bit of a like, you know, if a book cover looks good, I'm kind of drawn to it like a magnet. But also on Goodreads and stuff, it had said that it was similar to The Night Circus in that kind of magical, mystical kind of thing. And I was just like, oh, sounds good. So basically, the Emporium opens with the first frost of winter. It's the same every year. Across the city, when children wake up to see ferns of white stretched across their windows, or walk to school, or hear ice crackling underfoot, The whispers begin. The emporium is open. Like, that whole thing just sounded so good, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely going to be my cup of tea. And when I started reading it at first, I was really into it. I really enjoyed it, and then I just found myself thinking, oh, this is just a bit weird. I'm not enjoying it. So I ended up just like stopped reading it, because I've got so many books that I want to read. So the way I see it, I don't waste time on a book. Like, if I'm not fully enjoying it, I just stop. Like, I give it a good go, and if I'm still not feeling it and enjoying it, I just kind of give it up and move on to something else. So I just had to stop reading it. It was just too weird for me. I just didn't feel it, so I only gave it a 2 out of 5. But I will still say that the book cover was absolutely beautiful. Okay, next book I actually got out from the library, and it's called Dreamland Burning by Jennifer Latham. So when 17-year-old Rowan Chase finds a skeleton on her family's property, she has no idea that investigating the brutal century-old murder will lead to a summer of painful discoveries about the past, the present, and herself. So this book deals with racism, and it kind of concentrates on what happened, like the riots, the massacre that happened in Tulsa in 1921, which, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't know that much about. Like, I've heard of it, but I didn't know, like, the, degree of what happened. So I've kind of learnt some stuff about it, and also it makes you just, like, so angry. Like, I hate racism. I hate, any prejudice and hate. It's awful. Hope, not hate. And this book really, like, kind of, opens your mind and makes you think. And I really like the characters. I like the fact that it was told in kind of 2 parts, with like the older story and then the modern, kind of set in modern world, and then it all kind of intertwines. I liked that. And yeah, I just learnt a lot from this book. I thought it was really well wrote, and yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5. The next book I read was by Kelly Armstrong, and it's called Aftermath. So this is the first book that I've ever read by Kelly Armstrong. So many people have said that she's a great author and her books are good, but I just never read her before until now. I would definitely read more from her, because I think she had a great writing style. So 3 years after losing her brother Luca in a school shooting, Skye is moving home, but there's no sympathy for Skye and her family, because her brother Luca wasn't actually a victim, he was the shooter. This was a very dark, intense, interesting story, and it was told, from just such a different viewpoint with these kind of books. And yeah, you kind of think, like, when all these horrible things happen with, like, school shootings and stuff, what happens to the family of the shooter? Like, obviously it's not their fault, so you kind of think, what's involved? How do they feel? But with this book, it wasn't just the fact that it was her brother and the aftermath of that. It was also lots of other secrets and people that were involved that they didn't know at the time. And it was a really, really good book. Very dark, obviously, because of the subject matter, but very well told. And I gave it a 4 out of 5. The next book I read was Pudding by Julie Murphy. So this is number 2. It's the companion novel to Dumpling. I read Dumpling a little while ago, and it was fun. Like, Dumpling's, like, really good fun. There's going to be a film of it soon on Netflix, which I'm very excited to watch. The day it comes out, I'm watching it. So yeah, this is like the same kind of characters. The old characters like Willardine and stuff are still in it, but it's focusing more on 2 other characters called Millie and Callie. So basically they weren't friends before. They're very different kind of people, and then they're brought together and start this kind of unlikely friendship. So that's kind of cool, getting 2 very different people together and becoming friends and stuff. There's also some romance in this book, lots of like body positive stuff as well, which I think is good, about being overweight, being curvy, but still being confident and happy with your size and yourself. It was a fun little read. I did enjoy it. I read it in like a couple of days, but I thought it was a little bit cheesy at times and very predictable. Like, it was such a cliche. I kind of knew what was going to happen, and it did, and but it was still fun to read. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Next book I read was called Shooter by Walter Dean Myers. This was a little quick read that I picked up, and it's a story about a school shooting. This is, as I say, a really short little quick read, and it's told in like multiple narratives. So it's like a personal journey, newspaper articles, police reports. It was all fiction, but when you read it, it felt so real that you wouldn't know it was fiction. Like, it felt like you were reading, newspaper articles from something that had really happened. Very thought-provoking. And I like the different styles of, you know, the newspaper reports and stuff like that. And yeah, it was very dark, obviously, because the subject, but it was very, very well told. And yeah, it was good for a little quick read. I gave it a 3 out of 5. The next book I read was by Becky Albertelli and Adam Silvera, and it's called What If It's Us. This was such a cute, fun little book. I loved it. So I'd read a few Adam Silvera books before, and I'd not really enjoyed him that much. I know he's such a popular author. Everyone seems to love him on BookTube and stuff, but I've just never really liked his stuff. I don't know what it is, but I love Becky Albertelli. I've read all her books. I love her writing, so I wanted to give this book a go. Really pleased I did. It was so fun, so sweet. So it's about these two characters called Arthur and who was the other one? Ben, that was it. Arthur and Ben. So basically they have this like random meet by destiny and fate in a post office, and they flirt with each other and they like each other, and then they kind of go their separate ways. And it's the first part of the story is how they kind of try and find each other again and get in contact and stuff. And I really enjoyed that. So hold on, so I'm trying to read my notes, it's not making sense to me. That's not good, is it? Okay, Arthur is new to living in New York. He's only there for the summer. Ben has just broke up with his ex-boyfriend, and there's just this really strong connection to each other. And anyway, I won't ruin it, but it's quite obvious that they meet up again. And yeah, the rest of the story is what happens to them once they've met up, and their dramas and their romance. And it was cute. It was a little bit cheesy at times, as I say, but I like cheese. Gimme cheddar. I'm all about the cheddar. So yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Very romantic, funny and cute, and yeah, I liked it. It was good. And the next book I read, now please don't hate me everyone, because I know like this is like I can't believe I'm going to say this because you're all going to be like, but I read a book that everyone loves probably. It's such a like famous classic book, but I just didn't like it. I'm sorry. So it's Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Now, I know like it's such a popular classic book, and I so wanted to like it. I just didn't. I ended up just skim reading it to get to the end to find out what happens. But I thought, I don't know, I thought I would read something out of my comfort zone. I don't really read like classics, you know what I mean? I'm just not that kind of reader. We all like different things when it comes to books and stuff, but I thought I would give it a go. But yeah, I don't know, basically there's these 4 sisters, and it kind of follows their lives and their dramas that they go through, events that happen in their lives. All the sisters are kind of different, they've got their own personalities, but I found that halfway through I only kind of knew about Jo. Like I connected with Jo. The other sisters, they all kind of moulded into one for me. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. I'm sorry. I did like Jo. I thought Jo was a cool character, but I just couldn't be bothered to read it. So I kind of, as I say, I skimmed it. I just didn't connect with them. I didn't like the story. I don't know. So 2 out of 5. I'm sorry. I know it's such a classic book. Everyone's like, what? But anyway, obviously I recognise the fact it would be a classic, and for its time, like, wow, you know, that's amazing. Just not for me. I don't know. Anyway, the next book I read actually was 2. It was a duology. So I read The Dolls, both by Kiki Sullivan. The Dolls, and then number 2, Midnight Dolls. So basically, I love these 2 books. They're great. Teen witches, mysterious town, voodoo magic, spells, rituals, mean girls, bit of romance. It was great. Lots of secrets and magic, and really, really good. 5 out of 5. And the sequel, Midnight Dolls, was brilliant. Obviously, I won't say too much about that either, because I want you to read number 1. I do want you to read these books because they're great. They're really, really good. But I think number 2 was just as good, if not a little bit more exciting, especially at the end. I was like, oh, really, really good. 5 out of 5 to both of those books. And the last book I read in November was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Anyway, so yeah, I really enjoyed this. This book had like major Harry Potter vibes. I loved it. It was so fun. It was so magical. It was so cute, funny. Like literally, I would read it and just laugh out loud. I loved it. So Simon Snow is pretty much like a Harry Potter character. He's the chosen one. He's adorable, but I love Baz. I don't know who I love more, Baz or Simon. If you've read the book, let me know. But yeah, so basically Simon is the chosen one, a little bit like Harry Potter was, and they attend the Watford School of Magics. And basically Baz and Simon have gone for years at this school, and they're roommates as well, and they hate each other. But now all of a sudden they realise that it's not hate. The passion they feel that they thought was hate is actually love. And yeah, they kind of fall in love, and there's lots of magic and there's lots of drama, and yeah, it's cool. It's a very, very cool book. I loved it. I can't wait for book 2, which comes out next year, so I'll be getting that. But yeah, more Simon and Baz, please. Thank you, please. So my book of the month is very hard because I loved The Midnight Dolls, 2 books. I loved Midnight Dolls and The Dolls, but I also loved Carry On. So I don't know. Carry On. Do you know what? I'm going to do a joint. Mind you, that would be 3 books. But yeah, I love The Dolls and The Midnight Dolls, and also Carry On, I think. I'd have to say they were my favourite. And I did really like What If It's Us as well. I thought that was pretty cute. So yeah, there we go. Now, if you carry on watching, you will see a little bit of footage that I filmed yesterday with Nathan, my fiance. He has chosen my book of the month for the TBR Jar Selection. I'm not with it, sorry. Basically, every month I've got this TBR jar. In it there's lots of different bits of paper with the names of books that I own but I haven't read yet, and he delves in, picks me out a book, and that is, you know, I have to read it that following month. So carry on watching to find out what my TBR Jar Selection book is. And thank you to the lovely Nathan for selecting it for me. And also, what I'll do, I will include the pictures. All the books I've mentioned, I'll include pictures of them so you can see what the front covers look like. I know people have like the book next to them when they're talking about it and stuff, but I only use Movie Maker to edit. I'm really like basic when it comes to editing and stuff. So, you know, I know people like looking at the book covers. So carry on watching for the TBR Jar Selection and then the pictures of all the books that I read this month. If you're interested in what I'm reading so far at the moment, this is my current read. So this is Only Child by Rhiannon Navin, and so far so good, very emotional. It says on it, heart-stopping, heartbreaking, heartwarming. I found out about this book from the Richard and Judy book club, which I love. So yeah, it's really good so far. It's very emotional. I'm like, oh. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, carry on watching, and yeah, don't forget, please subscribe to my channel. It really does mean lots to me. If you're on Goodreads as well, come and follow me on there, and then you can see what books I've read, what books I want to read, things like that. So links down below to Goodreads, and the links down below to all my social media pages. So come and follow me and add me. And don't forget, I have another YouTube channel. I can take these off now. MinxLaura123 ASMR. And on that channel, I make videos to help people with anxiety, insomnia, depression. So yeah, go check out MinxLaura123. I'll put the link to that channel down below as well. Okay, so now it's the TBR Jar Selection and then photographs of the books that I've mentioned. Thank you for watching. Okay, so now it's time for the TBR Jar Selection. So Nathan is going to choose me a book from the TBR jar.
There's the hand.
And there's Nathan's hand.
Ready?
Oh, it's so exciting.
Let's have a good old rummage.
I'm so excited.
I've got this one right here.
Okay.
Dare Me, Megan Abbott.
And it's in the bedroom.
It's in the bedroom.
Okay. And here it is. There you go. What do you think of the cover?
It looks
like she's biting her lip. Like, oh. It says tense, dark, beautifully written. So this is a thriller.
It's a thriller.
Yeah, I think so. Megan Abbott. Yeah. There we go.
So is that a good one for you?
Yeah. Well, you know I love my thrillers.
Yeah. So
something dangerous about the boredom of teenage girls. Oh yeah, arrives at a school, charge of the cheer squad.
Cool, that's going to be so good.
You chose a good one again, babe. Thank you so much.
No,
so this is my TBR Jar Selection.
For December.
For December, yeah, the month of December. Okay.